Hey everyone, so today I want to talk to you about Fly Away, which is a film that was released earlier on in this year, and I'm a bit annoyed that it's taken me this long to see it, but I just couldn't find a way to see it. And now that I've seen it, I watched it last night, I was just like, that was more than worth the wait. It was absolutely phenomenal. There was two reasons why I wanted to watch it. I suppose you could class them as one. First of all, one of the two main cast members is played by Beth Broderick, and I'd also heard a lot of interviews about it and watched a couple on YouTube and things, and there was a lot of positive things said about it, and I thought this just sounds absolutely brilliant, so I'm going to have to give it a watch, and finally I did. It focuses on two characters, Mandy and Jeanne. Mandy is 16 years old and she has a severe form of autism, and it focuses on the struggle and sometimes the positive things that happens as well, that her mother Jeanne has to go through when looking after Mandy, and the difficulties Mandy faces and how tough it must be for both daughter and mother, and how they cope and how they just have to get on with their day-to-day life in certain situations. And I cannot begin to imagine how tough it would be both living with and with somebody with autism. As I said, yes, there are positive things, positive aspects about it. For example, the film does focus a lot on Mandy's enthusiasm for certain things, which is really, really nice. But it does highlight a lot of the struggles, and it does make you think, this puts life into perspective. Here's me sitting complaining because, I don't know, I'm complaining because my internet's gone down or something like that. And then you've got this mother and daughter who's struggling to cope with day-to-day life because the workload for Jeanne is just incredible. There's so much going on. Not only does she have Mandy to look after, which is, obviously looking after quite a few kids in a sense because of the work. She has her own work to deal with. She has relationships. She admits that she's lost the knack for socialisation. And it's really quite upsetting. And it does focus a lot more on Jeanne's struggles than what I thought it was going to. I thought it would be focusing on Mandy specifically, but no, it does. It's got a healthy balance of focusing on how it impacts on Mandy's life and how it impacts on Jeanne's life as well. It's absolutely brilliantly directed. It's directed, written, and I believe created by Grillo, and it is just absolutely sensationally done. There was one small thing which made me think, is that right? I'll talk about that in a second, but first the positive thing at the very, very beginning. So if you didn't know what the film was about, if you just put it on and had no idea, at the very beginning, we don't see any people for about a minute and a half or something, but we just have loads of close-ups of children's toys, and then of a hand drawing like pictures the level of, say, a 4 or 5 year old or something, and it makes you think that it's a child, like a young child in the kid's bedroom or a nursery or something, and then you realise that that's actually Mandy's bedroom, which does show straight away some of the mental sort of capabilities that she may have, and that the autism does bring down her mental age level in that it's associated with toys. And I thought that was really, really kind of good. Although there was one little bit, must have been about halfway through or something, maybe just before, where Mandy and Jeanne were walking away. They were in their pyjamas. So if you know the scene where they're in the pyjamas, it's that scene. They're outside in their pyjamas and they walk away, and then they go off camera and you can't see them anymore. And I thought the camera just stood there for a second too long, and then it shook. And I was like, is that supposed to happen? I don't know. But it kind of looked a bit funny to me. But other than that, it is absolutely fantastically done. There was one bit, the whole thing is completely emotional. When you watch this, you will cry. If you don't cry, you are not human. But there was one bit where Jeanne was in the bath and she leaned forward and all you could see down her side was bruises. And it was just a split-second scene. It was only on for about 10 seconds at the most. And in that 10 seconds, it was enough time for you to just sort of gasp, and then I burst into tears. Now, had that been the only thing I seen, I wouldn't have burst into tears, but because the whole emotion of the entire movie had been building up, it made me burst into tears, which was short-lived actually, because a couple of minutes later, Jeanne was laughing, and that's 45 minutes in. I made a note of it. 45 minutes into the movie, which is 2 hours long exactly. No, it's not. It's an hour and 20 minutes long. She laughed. So about halfway through, and I was like, that's the first time that character has laughed or smiled properly in this film, and it took us halfway through to get to it. So that also has an impact on how the character comes across, I think, which is nice. And then I think I scheduled it for 11 minutes after. At 56 minutes in, Jeanne has a complete breakdown, and she cries and cries and cries because it's just got too much for her. But at that same time, Mandy is comforting her the way that Jeanne comforts Mandy when Mandy has one of her episodes, if you like. And I thought it was a really kind of little nice bit of character role reversal, and it shows how, yes, Jeanne is there for Mandy 24/7, but at the same time, Mandy is still there for Jeanne. Maybe in a different way, in a different aspect, but she is still there. They are together. They're not a team. It's not mother herding daughter around. They are in this together, and I thought that was really beautiful. I like that. And then, basically, in the last sort of half an hour, you have two major things happening. You have Mandy running away, and then you have Mandy going to school and growing up, and I thought that was really brilliant. Now, we don't obviously get to see Mandy growing up. We don't get to see what she's like in 10 years' time. You can make that assumption for yourself. But my assumption is that everything turns out okay. The way the film was sort of heading, if the ratio of positivity can't continue to go on at such a strength, I liked it. I really, really did. Yeah, it was absolutely fantastic, and I predict really good things. If there was a sequel, I think it would be quite a positive sequel. What I really liked about this as well was the depth of the title. Now, when I heard Fly Away, I was like, I don't actually know why it's called Fly Away, because I didn't know what it was about. There are a few different references within this which sort of give the title its title. First of all, the song that soothes Mandy is, I don't even know what it's called, but it's Ladybug, Ladybug, fly away home, your house is on fire, your children will roam. Don't know what it's called, but it has the word fly away in there, and that was one of Mandy's favourite songs. Mandy also did a lot of references to planes. She liked aeroplanes. There was a lot of aeroplanes in her bedroom, and she got really excited by the ones up in the sky. So the fly away also gave the aspect of something that made Mandy excited and made her happy. Then you also have the aspect that's about being free, flying away and trying to get Mandy to, sort of try and live in the world and be able to cope, and then be able to give her a bit more freedom. And then there's the fourth aspect, which I really, really liked. Something Mandy commented on when they were in the restaurant. Oh, I haven't mentioned Tom yet. I will come back to Tom in a second. When Jeanne and Mandy and Tom were in the restaurant, she talks about how skywriting, symbol for love, and she goes on and on about these planes all the time, and there's this beautiful bit at the end, which is quite subtle. As I said at the beginning, this video would contain spoilers, so, there's a bit at the end where she meets another autistic boy, and all she says is the name of a certain plane, one of the fastest or biggest planes in the sky or something. I can't remember specifically because I'm not that knowledgeable about airplanes, but she just mentions this plane, and you could tell instantly that in her head that was just, I like this boy. And I really like that aspect, how she connects airplanes to love. So she's flying away in that aspect as well, and I really did think that was absolutely sensational. Yes, Tom, I can't believe I've forgotten to talk about Tom. It's written in my notes, but I completely bypassed that. Tom is Jeanne's love interest, but because Jeanne has Mandy, she doesn't feel like she can involve a man in her life, because she feels like she feels sorry for him because she doesn't want to bring him into that environment. But Tom is different, and again, we never really see whether Jeanne and Tom hit it off properly once Mandy's kind of growing up. But I think they do. He's played by, now I'm going to pronounce his surname wrong because I'm hopeless with surnames, but he's played by, now I'm going to say Greg Germann. It's Germann. You can check out his IMDb page. I will link all the main cast IMDb's below. And he was absolutely fantastic. I just kicked a bin over. It's only a waste paper bin, so that's fine. So he was absolutely sensational and a little bit gorgeous. So that was nice. So the cast is brilliant. Obviously Beth is fantastic, and I can watch this and not see any Zelda. And obviously I've been watching Sabrina for 12 years on a daily basis. Look, hey, tattoo. It's Sabrina logo. But for me, when I can see one of the main cast members, it took me a long time to watch Melissa Joan Hart as not Sabrina. But instantly I can see that Beth was not Zelda. Completely different character. Although they do have slight similarities, but not much. Ashley Rickards is the one who completely blew me away. She plays autistic Mandy, and I honestly forgot she was acting. I did. By the end of it, I kind of thought that was all untrue, common with a movie, and I just couldn't believe it. I could never do that in a million years. I'm not the greatest actor in the world, but even that, I wouldn't be able to approach. I wouldn't even be able to try to do it because I'd be so worried that I'd come across as mocking or insulting, and Rickards was absolutely fantastically, you know, absolutely brilliant. I really do love every aspect of this movie. It is absolutely fantastic. So if you do get to see it, do take up the opportunity. You will absolutely love it. As I said, you will cry. You definitely will cry. It's inevitable. But everything ticked all the right boxes here. The genre was true to itself. The characters were so believable. There wasn't a massive amount of characters as well. I mean, it was just a little independent indie movie. So there wasn't a massive cast. There wasn't like 100 people or anything. But it was absolutely brilliant, and I really do love it. And it's better than any other similar movie that I've seen before. And also don't get it mixed up with Fly Away Home, please, because when you search for Fly Away movie online, a lot of results are Fly Away Home, which is the one about the birds and the... I don't know, I've seen it, but I can't remember what it's about. But don't get it mixed up with Fly Away Home. Fly Away is much better. I really do love this. Please feel free to leave comments and let me know your thoughts if you've seen it. If you haven't seen it, are you going to see it? Yes, you are. And anything else, feel free to leave comments and things, and I'll see you all in my next video. Bye!